So in this screencast we're going to look at how to start off a C or a C++ program. So they all start with the main function. So this is a code entry point and where the computer actually starts executing this, the instructions. So we can see here on the right we've got this syntax here, so main and then some empty brackets. So this is telling us it's the main function. So the main function is actually in between these open curly braces and closing curly braces. So this signifies here all code inside of these curly braces will be executed when the program runs. So note here, when you're writing your code, don't forget to put the brackets in. So later in the course when we do more about functions, you'll see sometimes you can put things inside the brackets. But even if you don't have anything to put inside the brackets, you still need to put the brackets there. And then this per int here, this is referring to the return value of the function. Again, we'll cover this later when we cover functions. But for now, just remember to type in int main with the brackets when you start writing your code. So this refers to what we call the return value of a function. But main is special in that it doesn't, it doesn't need to return anything. It's automatically assumed that it returns 0, and since 0 is an integer, this is the reason why this is int. So we'll see. You could actually put at the end of your code, the last line here, you could put return 0. But since main is a special function, we don't need to do that. The compiler, it automatically puts return 0 there if we don't. Other functions must explicitly contain a return statement, and this is usually at the end. So normally the last line of a function is a return statement. And as I said before, we'll cover this later in the course. So we normally type this source code into a text editor using either just a special text editor, what's been developed for writing code, or what we call an integrated development environment, or IDE. So these are good because they've got the various features which make writing code easier. So when you come to write your source code, you'll save that file. So we normally give the file, it's very common to come across a file main.cpp. This will be the file that contains our main function. And then you can see here from the extension, so .cpp refers to a C++ file, and .c refers to a C source file. So this code here is valid for both C and C++. And it's going to be the extension we use for the file which will tell us which one it is and which compiler to use. So these code editors or IDEs usually colour the code to make it easier to read. So we can see here int is in this kind of purpley colour, main is just in black text, and we've got this green text here. And then you'll see there's other types of code you'll come across in different colours. So it just makes it easier to break down your source code, and you can spot the code easier. So this is known as syntax highlighting. So it's very useful to have this. If you just write your source code that's in a simple text editor, all the code will be all the font will usually just be black, and it'll be difficult to read if you've got 50, 100 lines of code. But using a special text editor or an IDE, once you save your file as a .cpp file, for example, the editor will know that it's a C++ file, and it'll colour in the text accordingly, and it just makes it easy to read. So we can see here the green text is a comment. So this is not actually code. This is just text comments we've put in to remind ourselves and other people who might be looking at our code what this code is doing. So comments get ignored by the compiler. So when the compiler comes to compile this, any line it sees starting with 2 forward slashes, it'll just ignore. So this is an inline comment. You can also have a block comment as well. So for example, if you put / then asterisk, anything what inside is here a comment, And you can put lines and lines of comments, and at the end you'd have asterisks and then another forward slash, and that signifies a comment block. So it's very useful to put comments in. It's very tempting at the beginning not to bother. You say, oh, comments just a waste of time. But a bit later on when you go back to look at that code, you won't remember how it works. Or if it's someone else's code as well, you won't know how it works. So it is useful to put comments in.